Toney got hurt, hamstring injury, which he's battled through his entire career so far, short career, but that's what he's been battling. Hardman's out for at least 3 more games. And JuJu will probably come back next week. So we're going to be out 2 guys. And I know this guy over here, Lance, big OBJ fan. Should we make a play at OBJ with the receiver injuries right now, or should we, based on what we saw tonight, are we fine with what we got?
Listen, JD, I'll take this real quick because I know you have a much more intelligent statement on this. But I will say this. If there was ever a time that they needed to go and make a move, it's now, guys. Because think about this. I had again, my guy Mark Gunnels on our show this Saturday, and he said something that I didn't really think about that much either, is that OBJ has been somebody that's been preaching a lot this season about playing on grass and how he is so against turf. The only 2 teams that have been on his list that have grass, natural grass on their fields are the Chiefs and the 49ers. So if you really think about it, if OBJ is trying to protect his knees at 30 years old while trying to contend and make a little bit of money here, I think this is the perfect place for him. And I don't need to redo the sales pitch here, but he's also now as close to a need as he would ever be in Kansas City. I don't think that he'll ever be a need here. He's a big want. But with Hardman going to be out for the next month, with JuJu coming back from a concussion, we don't know the severity of Toney like you addressed. There's adding talent is never a negative thing. I know Jason playing back in his day. If they knew that they could go and add a Randy Moss, and I'm not trying to compare OBJ, I'm just saying if you knew you can go and add a really good wide receiver, if you guys knew you can add that to your offense, even though you had Toney, Jason Dunn, Eddie Kennison, Priest Holmes, even though you know you had your guys. If you knew you could add something that could be a difference maker, why in the world would you not do it? So I don't want to put words in your mouth here, JD, but I would imagine that'd be something to be like, hell yeah, let's get that guy on this team. That's the way I think the Chiefs are looking at this. I don't know. He might end up in Dallas, but that's a turf field. And I just can't imagine that OBJ is going to feel comfortable with his knees back-to-back ACL tears. He's going to sign up for that, especially if he's looking for a long-term deal, trying to play for a team into his 30s on a turf field. I just don't know if that's going to work for him. I'm just going by what he said. And what he's saying, it makes a lot of sense to come to Kansas City.
Well, I'll tell you this, okay, because I guess you could argue on either side of it. And this is how I feel about it, to be honest with you. You can go ahead and make a play for OBJ, but they're still projecting him somewhere in mid-December, coming out to play, right? And so he still had to learn the whole the playbook, get acclimated with all these guys, with Patrick and all of that. So I think tonight, if anything, I think it dispels having OBJ come in, to be honest with you. Just my opinion. I mean, seriously, because when you had Skyy Moore come in, Justin Watson was able to do his thing. Travis is going to, he's always going to be the number 1 receiver. Then you got Jody and Noah doing a great job out there. MVS is still out there also too. So you got players. The thing is, JuJu's going to be back. So these guys are going to be able to hold it down, I think, against a pretty decent secondary, but all, intents and purposes. I mean, really, pretty decent guys that you're going against. So I think it just showed that, the type of rapport that they have with one another, that type of chemistry that they absolutely displayed tonight. Bringing another guy in, I don't know if you necessarily need it. I just don't. So I'm just saying, okay, let's say Kadarius Toney's hamstring is not that severe. Okay, he's out 2 weeks, maybe, if he's doing that. He's able to come in, and almost like they had Keenan Allen tonight, right? So what you do is you look at how many plays he's going to play in a game, okay, not to re-injure the hamstring. So you can do that and put him on a play count. But the other guys, I name all the other guys around Patrick that he can get the ball to. So I just think, like I said, JuJu's coming back. Hardman, he'll come back when it's needed. But I think with Skyy Moore coming out, this coming out party for the day, I think, man, he's just a solid guy. He's a solid guy that you got. I think the guys kind of behind him also too. We were talking about Powell being up there, Cam. I mean, it's guys. We got guys. We got guys that can play. And so, like I said, PM15 is going to be able to get the ball to anybody that's out there right now. But I think we got capable guys. Like I said, Justin Watson, he had 3 for 67. Skyy had 5 for 63. MVS, he only had 1. I think I see somebody was on the comments talking about MBS falling down every time. I just think he's just he didn't really stand out, but he's still a guy, right? He's a guy that you could hit him for 3 or 4 catches if you need to. So I don't count him out. I don't. You bring him here, for him to fill a role, and I think he'll be able to do that if you need him necessarily. Tonight you didn't really need him. You didn't need to, So, but yeah, I just think OBJ. I think it's the name. Everybody likes the name. Everybody likes the catches. OBJ and right, and it sounds great, and I get it. I get that part of it, man. But I don't know. Those dudes kind of showed out tonight, and I like to give those guys their due, right? I really do. I like to ride the hot horse and go with Skyy Moore, Justin Watson, Travis, and I said Fortson out there, man. I like that. I like that combination. I do. And if we're running the football effective like we are with Pacheco, and now it seems like we have no choice but to have Rojo go ahead, right? He's going to have to dress now, okay? Because CEH is going to be out. So he might be that other guy that you need. It might be the two-handed monster that's going to run the football effectively, right? So all that helps. All that helps offensively. Seriously.
JD, if our guy Rojo gets called up, man, I'm going to send you the biggest bucket of mac and cheese you've ever had in your life, man. I'm telling you right now. And you're going to eat the whole thing. You're going to eat the whole thing on the post game.
Hey, man, I'm going to send it right back to you.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get podcasts.